Jen, welcome.
Thanks, Lucia. So happy to be here today. So thank you for having me.
I'm very excited about the topic that we're gonna cover because if anyone looks at your background, can see that first you graduated from Harvard and then you worked at Cisco and climb up to the director level in data. At VMware, you also climb up to the director level and it was in product. And now you made a shift. You started at ServiceNow and you are leading a sales organization, a go-to-market organization. So take us back, Jen, to your like the beginning of the journey to switching to a sales organization.
Yeah, no, thanks, Lucia. I was really fortunate to spend a lot of time growing up in Singapore, watching my parents manage businesses. My parents both ran two gas stations, Exxon at that time. Really grew up seeing how businesses are done. I grew up with a passion to manage business, operate business. And when I come to the US for college, I really wanted to be in that business management career. And what took me to the Silicon Valley is what I really later found out is very fast paced. There's a lot of innovations. We're making great products that impact people's lives and companies' lives and trajectories. And I'm fortunate to spend time with at Cisco and then VMware and now ServiceNow, really, working through their product sets, looking at the enterprise customers, their buying patterns. What brought me to sales really is that passion to really understand how to operate business across the different functions of a company, right? Whether it's in the finance organization, in a product organization, in the sales organization. I do think that every company needs to operate that way. And then, as a business operator, you really need to understand. And also, being in operations functions is really important. Yes.
What were the things that were going on behind the scenes as you were considering this big shift?
Yeah, no, for sure. I do think that, first of all, I really like challenges or I like the unknown more than I like the known. So I do get a little bit of the adrenaline flow when I don't know what's going on. So that fuels me a lot. But to your point, Lucia, I think the biggest fear always is, can I build the same success when it comes to people, relationship, when it comes to understanding the company, the culture, the products, right? And the services and the customers. I would not say that everything is always a success. I do have my failures along the way, but I think in general, the successes are a little bit more than the failures. So that gives me comfort that I could kind of take that same set of skill sets or what I know as the right formula to keep going and trying out new things. I do think that you need a lot of confidence, but confidence comes from doing the thing again and again. And I think confidence comes from actually failing and then actually turning around the failures and be successful the next time around. So I would encourage people not to be scared about failures.
What would you say were some of the skills that you have acquired in your previous roles that were transferable to this role that gave you the confidence that you can carry an organization and make it successful?
Yeah, I would say, Lucia, I would say a couple of things that really I find it to be the right formula for me. I think number one is the curiosity or passion to learn. I think that's really important. It doesn't matter what group you're in or what business you're in. If you really are care about the business that you're currently in, you meet people. So actually going into a new group, the first thing I always ask is, who is my team? Who is my extended team? Who are my stakeholders? Actually go and spend time. I mean, usually the first 30, 60, 90 days are the honeymoon period. You can ask any question you want to ask, but be very thoughtful about the kind of questions you go in. I usually ask them like, hey, what do you think is working? What do you think is not working? Where's the opportunity? And how can I support you? So I think those are the few questions I generally ask. So do a listening tour, but I think that learning part, you cannot stop. You really just need to do that. I think the other one is to be able to pick out what the problem is really quickly. I think that's really important. So like after you do the listening tour, really have a very put on that critical thinking mindset and go, what is the opportunity there? How can I be helping here? And what is that? What does that look like? So one of the books that I really like to enjoy reading, you probably know about this, is that First 90 Days by
Mhm.
Michael Watkins. I mean, it really gives you a really good framework for thought about how you think about a situation. So when you go into a new group, whether it's a new role or just a new assignment, really put yourself that 30, 60, 90-day plan and start working on it is, look at, understanding the team orientation, the business orientation, the culture of how the team is working. What is the big problem that you're looking for? Do you have the right strategy to the situation? What situation are you in? Do you have the right resources to that strategy, and do you have the right structure to that team? So those are the things I look for, and then you look for like what are the early wins, because fast-paced company like tech companies now don't wait, right? So they want to see results. How can you quickly get some early wins there, and then while building that foundation for longer term execution? That to me is really really important. I think the other skill sets I realize is business management and leadership skills are very very transferable. All the things you learn about how to manage a business through a right operating rhythm, through a management system of measuring KPIs, right? And actually inspecting the business. How do you build a culture of, team, high performing teams? Those are very, very similar. It's just the business is different. Yeah.
Mhm. So what I hear is first taking charge of your onboarding process or the first
Yeah.
90 days, meeting those people, create that internal network, finding those early wins, and also rely on the confidence that you do have skills that you have, like that you previously built, and that trusting that those skills can help you in a new environment as well. Even if it's a different type of business, the most of the main strategies are the same.
Yeah.
In terms of the early wins, so one of the things that I hear, one of the struggles that new people, when they start a new role, they have this uncertainty of what is a new win and how to ensure that the early win is really one that has an impact and it matters. And you need to do that, as you said, in like pretty soon. You need to find something. What had supported you in identifying those early wins and then delivering on those?
Yeah. I think first of all, I think alignment with your direct manager is really, really important. I think that alignment, after about a week or two, I mean, so first of all, meet with your manager very frequently. So in fact, with every of my new role, I probably meet with my manager probably a few times, or do a check-in a few times a week. And then it goes into a weekly. But in those conversations, share your observation at this point. Am I meeting the right set of people? Am I asking the right questions when I do my listening tour? Share the observations as they roll in and go, hey, this is where I'm seeing where the opportunities are. Is that the same thing that what you're looking for? Usually that your manager should give you a really, really good guidance and should be your sponsor. I think the other thing is your critical stakeholders. In this case, if I'm up supporting a sales leadership, the sales leader will have the biggest pain point about what's blocking their business, or what's stopping them for even doing more. I think having alignment with that will be really really important, because these are the people who's going to be, when you make that win, to your point, they're going to be the one who actually reinforces that win and confidence in you and your team. So that's what I would encourage people to do. Yeah.
Mhm. That's beautiful. How about the uncertainty of finding one? When you go into a new organization, you hear so many things that can be made better, can be improved. How did you
Mhm.
differentiate which one to move forward with?
No, that's a really good question, Lucia. I would say you would hear the same problem again and again. I mean, like I will bet you if you go and do a listening tour about 30 to 40 or 50 people. And by the way, do this not just at the top, do this 360, right? Across, top, your team members' team. If you do it enough, you see that the theme starts to show up and it's recurring. I think that's where and I think that connecting to the business itself. So a lot of times you have to kind of gauge when you look at those problems. Like it could be something like, when I first joined, it was, hey, we're not aligning to like our specialist teams, right? Because we support specialist teams. Could be something like, hey, the field has a way of doing something. Let's drive consistency with the specialist teams. Why? So that we can speak in the same language, look at the same KPIs, right? Have the same type of cadence and rhythm. So Lucia, it just comes very naturally when you talk about all these meetings because people are talking over one another. Or they're not having the common language. So that's just an example of you start to see things are not as efficient as they could be because people are not understanding each other's language or not in the same rhythm. I think that's very very true across a highly matrix organization. So
John, you mentioned 30, 40 interviews, like
yeah,
30, 40.
yeah,
So is this like, can I assume that this is what you did when you when you started into organization, that you
yeah,
made the purpose, like you made it a point to go and interview and meet with so
yeah.
many people? That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
no, no, I would say, Lucia, I think I probably meant more than that, but yes, 30 to 40. I was supporting 8 different businesses, all the leaders, their chief of staff, my finance counterpart, my HR counterpart, my ops peers, my team. Meet every one of them actually, and then have them actually share with you what's working and what's not working, and maybe one person that you recommend that I should meet next. I do spend my time a lot of times in general. I would say most of my days are one-on-ones and team meetings. I think that's what people tell you what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I like that. This highlights the importance of taking the time, like what, no matter what position you come in, it's so important to make a point to go and interview and meet all the people in your, or as many people as you can in that organization. And as you said, not just the ones very close to you, but
Mm-hmm.
across, and then
Mm-hmm.
establish those relationships that,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, you when you do that, you're not in a lack of finding the early wins, creating your strategy as a leader, and all that.
Yeah. And Lucia, maybe I'll just add to that. I would say how you know your early wins is actually, I always have a working document of what I'm listening and where I think the opportunities are and what I'm thinking. I usually share this really, really broadly with everyone I meet. So I think this is something that I don't usually see people doing it. They're not, maybe they're a little bit feeling like vulnerable. But one thing I feel that really helps me is when I have like a, when I share my thoughts on a piece of paper and I go into every meeting telling people this is what I'm thinking, what I'm observing, and what I want to do next. I'm just amazed at how much people will come to me and tell me, Jan, great. Have you thought about something else, something else, something else? So I think having a lot of people look at your plan just makes your plan better, and they give and then make them be part of your problem or your work so they'll support you better. So that's something that really helps me. Yeah.
Yes. And just in our conversation, another reminder that comes back to me is that as a leader, like sometimes we hear that leaders feel the pressure that everything is on their shoulders, that when they come, they need to come up with a strategy, they need to already know, they need to
That's
be the
true.
experts in the new business that they join. And what becomes clearer and clearer whenever I speak with leaders and with you including, is that it's not on your shoulders. Like taking the time to meet with people, taking the time to validate your what you're sensing, sharing that raw document with everything that you have noticed takes the pressure off, that it's
Yeah.
your discovery mode. And this is how
Yeah.
typically business problems are solved, that we are testing, we're experimenting, we have a
Yes.
year open for problems, and then the solutions somehow naturally form or organically forms. It's not that we need to come day one with the strategy in place and
No.
a plan of action.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think strategy is something that is best when you're co-developing it. I do think that leaders do need to own that decision making so that at
Mhm.
some point it doesn't just keep that clarity is there. So decision making is important. Yes.
Mhm. What would you say, Jen, in this year that you have spent in this new position? What were some of the challenges that you had to that you encounter, and
Mm-hmm.
how did you navigate them?
No, that's a great question, Lucia. I would say um, coming from product to a sales organization, I think the rhythm is just so different. Sales organization, the rhythm, it's very, very intense in terms of reporting and looking at the all your deals or your pipeline. So I think it almost makes me feel like I was back in finance again, but even more intense. So I think sales is a highly disciplined organization. You just need to execute every day, scheduling time to meet with your customers, engaging with them, making sure that you're actually creating opportunities, which we call it a pipeline, actually progressing that pipeline and then right closing that deals by every quarter, every month. So that rhythm of supporting that sales organization is very, very intense. So that's definitely some adjustment I had to make. So I think that's the biggest one. I think the second one is, supporting a sales leader, just the pressure that they have to look at so much data. So sales organization is highly data driven. This is something I definitely, found out, first couple of weeks into the joining ServiceNow in the sales organization. There's tons of analytics out there that our data team has built, right? And our teams have built. I think it's actually making use of all of them really well. And then how do you present the right insights to your sales leaders to do that? I think the other one for me, maybe it's something that's different outside of the rhythm. It's sales leaders are, obviously supporting a different set of a wide variety of sales leaders is how do you have having different leadership styles when you're supporting different leaders are that's something that I have to learn really quickly this year as well. So those are my challenges, I would say. Yeah.
Mhm. And what was the thing that helped you navigate
Yeah.
these challenges?
Yeah. I have to thank my so first of all, my direct manager, right? My biggest sponsor. She's the one who tells me what to look out for, how I can navigate them. I think also my peer, who's also my mentor, or we call it here, buddy, who she's the global Rev Ops leader. That's also another person. So between them, I think they help me navigate, like, who to look out for, what to look out for, what are the pitfalls if I were to do something. I think relying on your board of directors, I would call it, in the company is so super important. I think gaining your team and so coming back to early wins, right? On all these sales leaders, you have to quickly deliver. So it's like whether it's, hey, don't make sure that you're delivering the weekly forecast, report to them, right? Then improving on that, giving them more analytics, telling them something new every week that they don't know. Um, actually just being reliable and predictable. I think that's really, really key there. I would say, generally just getting a lot of support from your support system, like your team and your peers really, really help. Um, and then from there is just execution every day. You're only as good as your execution is. So making sure your team. So one of the things that I did spend a lot of time is actually working with my team is really, how do you actually have the culture of being agile, right? How do you actually be high velocity in this organization? One thing that we also I also brought up my team up to speed is around the use of creating, learning how to be data savvy on Power BI. That's our tool. So not relying somebody else to create that report. We actually have to be the one pulling the data ourselves and actually doing analysis. So those are the things that helped along the way. Mhm.
Mhm. What are some things that you learn about yourself personally going through this journey?
I think people are resilient. So one thing I learned is don't give up. I would just say this, don't give up. Um, have the right support, or people, your system where you can vent and let go of some steam. But one thing I learned to myself is that I can do it. I mean, I can learn new things, right? I think this is the fear. I cannot learn something new. I do think that this is something I feel like I learned is like, hey, I can learn a new set of tools. I can learn a whole set of sales processes. I can learn a whole set of sales KPIs. That's something I learned that I can do really well. I also learned that you can adjust to the rhythm. Yes, I'm not used to that daily rhythm, but I can get used to it, right? So whether it's something you like or not is a different matter, but you can actually get adjusted. So I do think that it's almost a habit if you can actually tell your mind that you can do it and you actually put the time. Don't give up too early because habits takes a while to form. So for me, I'm sure it's for everyone, it takes a couple of months to keep doing it until you form that habit. I think that's something that I learned from myself is you can get adjusted to that rhythm. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, that resilience is so important.
Yeah.
And also, as you said, like what you tell yourself that
Yeah.
you can do it, that yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. You like it and you don't like it. You in the beginning, it is an adjustment, but if that self-talk
Yeah.
is positive, it's encouraging. Oh,
It's
yeah,
really
you
important. It's a
can do
step
it.
one. Yes.
It is important. What would be something that you would tell someone that feel like they would love a change, but they are hesitant to move to a different organization, different company, different role? What would you tell them if you were to mentor them?
I would say I always tell I tell my team and I tell everyone that I mentor is I, you're not going to grow if you're comfortable. I would just say this. Like the
Mhm.
moment you feel comfortable, you're not growing. So it really is growth is about being uncomfortable. Stress is about having gives you the right motivation to go do something difficult. So I would just tell them that actually get uncomfortable, but I think more importantly about, actually draw out your plan about what is it that you enjoy about this role, or what would you like to get in your next role, and start kind of putting it on a piece of paper. I generally, like I said, everything I think is on a piece of paper. So even my next role, my next roles, I think put it on a piece of paper and have some thinking about whether you're having this conversation with your team, with your mentor, with your manager, anyone, just put it out there. It's like, what is it that you like about your role today? What is it that you would like to see more of or less of? What is that person that you admire, professionally? Um, what is it about them? Put it all down and actually ask yourself, like, are you happy? Is this the best version of yourself? I think every day we come into work, um, obviously we're working for a paycheck and security, but I think more importantly, are you happy? Are you thriving? And I always tell myself every day I come in, I should be I should be at my best version, but you're never at your best version. Your best version is always the next step. Right? You always have a next step. So I think the other thing, Lucia, is having them meet with a lot of people and asking them what they do. Like, especially meeting people who likes to grow and do things. So I like to surround myself with people that grow. So most of my
Mhm.
contacts are people that are doing interesting things, right? I meet with them and my first question is, hey, what problem are you solving right now at work? Um, who are the new people you're meeting right now? What are the new things you're reading? What conferences are you going? Like, what are you doing so that I can learn from you? Because it's incredible, like the amount of things are out there, and it's just our choice whether we want to do it or not. I mean, a lot of people want to spend time outside of work. And I don't think it's a bad thing. You can relay a lot of things that you do personally back to work. But I think being intentional about what is the thing that you're doing. So I have team members who are jumping off the cliff, right, in their bucket list, going out and get a new perspective about, how things are. I love to hear those because you never know. I mean, innovation is basically taking all those different points that are outside of your immediate kind of work zone and actually injecting it. So yes, I think all views are incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, so I hear loud and clear this element of curiosity. Curiosity, both like look inside you, see what's important, you're happy, not happy, what's out there, what's the deepest, or what's a desire that you have, not necessarily the deepest. And then be curious, have those conversations, surround yourself with people that feed into that curiosity. That's beautiful. Jan, what is something that was important in your journey as you transition into a new organization that we haven't discussed today?
I think it's the impact that I'm making. Like, I think as a leader or manager, a lot of times it's about making being that multiplier, Lucia. So this is something that is really, really important for me. And, one of my leaders, when I first got promoted to a director at Cisco, she actually brought me into the room and go, "Hey, now that you're a director, what are you going to do differently?" And I say all these things. And she's like, "Look, at some point you want to have followers, right? So it's not that you're not just coming tops down telling people what to do. You want to create a leadership that people want to follow you. They respect you. They're learning from you. They enjoy working with you. So therefore, regardless of the work, regardless of whether you're the manager or not, they want to do something with you and make that impact. So that followership, I think it's really important for me, because it needs to resonate, right, genuinely from your leadership style and your working style. I think the other one is exactly what I'm thinking about, is when you have that, then the next thing is you have that influence, is that multiplier. Can you multiply that impact in your team? So if you have a team of two, are you really just two, or are you actually three or four? It's about building a machine that scale. It's not just the people. So every day when we're doing something, I always ask my team is like, "Hey, you have the skills to build the tool. So let's build the tool to scale, not have you do the work." So I think that's really important to me. So two things come to mind: multiplier and followership. I think those are the two things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it starts with that compelling vision. That as
Yeah.
a leader, to be able to come up with a compelling vision that people would naturally follow you, that
Yeah.
you keep your doors open, possibly invite them, but there will be a lot that would just love to be part
Yeah.
of that, and then enabling them to create, deliver
Yeah.
on their capabilities. This
Yeah.
has been a beautiful conversation. I am grateful for you to take the time to share this, because I think it's an important topic, especially as someone is navigating a new leadership role. There are so many uncertainties and so many things that one would go through, and I think we covered so many of those, and I really believe that this episode will help someone to get the inspiration, the insight, the information that they might need to possibly take the leap or make their jobs a little bit easier, take the pressure off, and
Yes.
learn from the power of being connected with people, having conversation,
Yes.
and not feel that everything needs to originate with from you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Lucia. Thank you so much.
I hope this episode gave you some inspiration for reaching your goals. If you found it useful, please hit the subscribe button. This will help me bring you more inspirational stories to support your own journey to point B. Thank you.